All right, folks, I don't have as many announcements as usual because I'm not going to tell you what's coming up. Tonight is the finale, and we're bringing it for the finale. We've got young people that are going to fill the room in short order. We're excited, and thank you for coming tonight. Here is what you've seen so far. 2 weeks ago, session 1, we talked about thriving in America. Are the odds stacked against you? Last week, we moved over to schools. What's it like to thrive in schools when more often than not, your environment is shaping your choices for you? Let's end things on a positive. We're going to talk about thriving in the BPL solution, how to live a life of your own design. And we mean that literally. The students, the young people that you'll meet today are going to talk about how they've taken some of the lessons that we've been speaking about and instituted them through practical ways in their own schools, in their own classrooms, in their own communities. The other two sessions will be joined by this session in an archive. So if you've missed any, if you want to share them later on, they'll all be housed on our YouTube page, youtube.com/BP Learning. I got a lot of questions after. I can't make it tonight. I missed the second one. You can find them all on our YouTube page. This one will be up either tomorrow or the next day. We don't wait too long for these things. Once again, our colleague Asari is on the BP Living Twitter handle at BP_living. So if you have questions, feel free to pose them over there and she's ready to respond. And without further ado, because my announcements are limited this week, our hosts, Dr. Danique Dali, Dr. Marcia Gill Davis, take us home. Let's do this.
Oh man, 1, 2, 3 in the place to be.
Thank you,
I am Danique Dali, and I am here with MGD, Dr. Marcia Gill Davis. How are you today?
I'm really good. I just came from work, and it was an awesome day. I have been having such great success with my patients, incorporating lifestyle medicine as a part of how I care for them. I've had several really awesome success stories for treating diabetes, etc. So it's been a good day.
Cool. Now I know you can't, the Hippocratic oath. I know it's like shh, but is there anything you could tell us about like a frame or where you do it? Because when I'm normally in the doctor, it's like, hey, you're all right or you're not, and take some medicine. Is there anything you do differently?
So the paradigm through which I practice is very prevention oriented. So I use that as my foundation, and I talk to my patients very honestly about significantly influenced by our environment. So I just kind of lay that out so that people aren't taking this 100% blame like on themselves. You have to understand the context of your environment affecting you. And once you're like, oh, like there's stuff that's happening. Like I grew up in a culture that teaches me how to not be connected to my body, how to not really think about the impact of food on my health. And then I end up waking up at 60 and dealing with the issues. And it's like, let's start off at a good, on a good note. And let's make sure that you're building a really strong foundation with your health so that it can last you, throughout your life. So that's kind of how I approach things.
Okay.
And I incorporate all the pillars.
Well, this was all the setup for me to say, I want to thank you for making a house call. I want to thank you for being a doctor that goes beyond your office. And and this is a metaphor really, because you could have just stayed in the office, did your thing, but you didn't have to be here right now doing this. So I want to thank you for that and expanding beyond your office. And I want to thank you for playing with different forms of media to do that. And and we'll see some of that later also.
Yes.
I want to just also thank you for thinking of this. This was, I'm going to give you your flowers. This is your brainchild. This is something you envisioned, and I want to thank you for that.
Well,
this is the third one.
I have to say I can't take all the credit. I'm gonna take not all of any. I'm gonna take a part of the credit that's due to me, which is that we all worked on this together, including you and Elliot and the whole team and all of my team with Heal, Nivi, Katie, Jackie, everybody. So it's been a whole bunch of wonderful people supporting Erin, who is our HEAL secretary, and my co-leader, Terry. It was a whole effort. And the students being willing to come on today. So excited to have them.
Okay, well, let's get to it then. I'm gonna bring us back. We started with the first one, which was definitely big picture, the whole thing, health inequity, and the systems and structures and what it looks like for an individual and how they affected and changed their families. So you want structures and individuals. Right. Then we had last week, which was, it was hearing from a doctor and somebody in education. And we were talking about the environment and schools. Now this one, and I'd love you to break it down. Well, what do we have this week today?
I feel like of all of the episodes, this is like the one, because now we're talking about how students are taking control of their lives, taking control of their health, and actually creating the very solutions to making sure that their health path, their health destiny is something that they can control and decide for themselves. And I'm so excited to hear from our students who are going to talk about exactly that, and how their own personal experiences influence their decision to say, you know what, even as a high school student, like my health matters to me. And this is what I want to do about that. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and one thing, if anybody's, for those in the audience, those listening in the future, I hope you're hearing these we're hearing from kids, we're hearing from students, we're hearing from the ones living and dealing with it right now in schools. So hopefully you'll take this as gems as we try to dive into what it means for them to dive into healthy lifestyle. So let you take it from here. Let's have some fun.
All right. Am I supposed to be showing my thing? Or we're gonna have
no, I think they're coming in. I think
okay. Yeah.
If let's start meeting some students. And oh, here we go. And these are big picture students, right? These are students from big picture schools. So we're probably gonna do some intros and things like that. All right.
Come on in. Come on into
the chat, to the Zoom page. Come on down. Welcome Emma, welcome Jasmine, welcome Maria, welcome Alicia, welcome Angel.
This is a beautiful site.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would like this, and Marshall, I normally run my mouth too much, but I want to let you, have your conversation. I'm here, and I would love, this is what we want to do. We just want to get to know who you are, as students. So let's just do some initial stuff, get some things out the way. Let's get your name, the school you're at, and maybe if you want to mention your grade, but we want to just get an idea, your name, grade, maybe your location. Just tell us a little something about you and we'll go from there.
Yep. All right, you know what? Let's start with Angel. So we'll start from bottom.
Hello everyone, my name is Angel Feliz and I go to the Met High School located in Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm in 11th grade.
Perfect. Welcome, Angel. Alicia, go ahead. You're next.
Hi everyone, I am Alicia. I'm from India, Mumbai, and I too am in 11th grade.
Beautiful. Welcome, Alicia. All right, Maria. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Maria Esparza. I am in a school named Odyssey STEM Academy in Paramount, California, and I'm in 11th grade.
Excellent. Thank you, Maria. Welcome. Go ahead, Jasmine.
Hello, my name is Jasmine. I'm also from Met High School in Providence, Rhode Island, and I'm in 11th grade.
Beautiful. Welcome again.
Welcome,
And
nice to
lastly,
meet
we'll
you.
have Emma.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emma. I am also in 11th grade, and I attend a school called Muse in Calabasas, California.
Awesome. Welcome, welcome. It's so good to have all of you here. And I'm just really excited to just talk about what you're doing. That's like literally why we're here, to just share, why you even wanted to get involved with Big Picture Living, and what you're currently doing at school. So let's kind of just go round robin again, starting with Angel, and share with us a little bit about why it was important for you to just get involved with healthy living, health equity, BP Living, Skunkworks. Yeah, just talk about what was your interest, what led you to get involved.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
and let me also share one more question: why it matters to you? Like, why is this important to you?
Yeah, I think it all started really like anyone else. A lot of things happen, like starts at our households, like what we see and what we experience at our houses. And for me, it was the people that took care of me that really got me interested in it. With my dad, he he didn't really care about his health. He never went to the doctors. He always thought that if he went to the doctors, he would only find more problems. They would diagnose him with this and then that, and then it would lead to him having so many pills. So he never went. My mom would try to get him to go. She would make appointments for him, and he, like, leading up to the appointments, he would say, yeah, I'll go. But then the day off, he wouldn't even be at the house. He would go to work, knowing he had an appointment, and always avoided going to the doctors. Well, recently, about a year ago, he had a stroke, and then now is starting to deal with a lot of health problems. And that's when it really got serious for me, like thinking about how I take care of my health. And now that I have histories of all these issues in my family, I'm trying to like prevent that and also take care of my father. So a lot of the things that we started doing here at my house is eating healthier recipes, just because that was something that was recommended by our doctors for my dad, to kind of prevent any of these things to happen again.
Mhm.
So it really all started with the people that are taking care of me, and kind of seeing how it's impacting them, rather than just myself.
Mhm. Thank you so much for sharing that, Angel. And really just like what prompted you to get involved and why this means so much to you. It makes a lot of sense, just wanting to support your dad as much as possible, and using that experience to help you, make the best decisions for yourself now. So thank you so much. I'm going to shift over to you, Alicia, to share why this matters to you.
So I got involved with Big Picture Living about a year ago, and at that time, less than a year ago, and at that time, we had the second wave of COVID in India, and it was sort of at its peak, and there was a lot of death and just sickness all around me. Like the second wave hit us the hardest, so it was very difficult to deal with. A lot of people, you were constantly getting calls that I'm sorry to say somebody has passed away. I'm sorry to say somebody else has passed away, and it's just a scary time to just not know about your family, about your friends, and with schools and lockdowns, and not be able to go out, not be able to help anybody, in fear yourself. So at that time was when I realized that somewhere we are sort of and because in India we didn't really have the health infrastructure to support those many people, um, and those many cases. So that was also one reason a lot of people died, because there just wasn't enough facilities, there wasn't enough oxygen, there weren't enough hospital beds, and and that's when Big Picture Living was introduced to me, and the whole idea of Big Picture Living was to be prevention focused. So that's something that really resonated with me, because I realized that if we start at a young age, and if we do, take a few steps that, like the 6 measures, and just take a few steps in the right direction, we can prevent this from happening again. If we're ever faced with any sort of disease that comes, we should be equipped to handle it without having to depend on external infrastructure.
Mhm.
So that's why I got involved. And then just, helping students at my school and seeing how enthusiastic they are, I think that's what drives me, because I think they also see the importance of this.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing how, you know, a situation that's less than ideal, actually really scary, traumatic, really for all of us, um, especially for those of us who've had direct connection to seeing people go through and not making it. I think you just taking that experience and saying, you know what, like I gotta do something with this information, and you really took that energy and drove it into something amazingly productive. So this is awesome, and I can't wait to hear more about what you're doing. But thank you for sharing. All right, we're gonna move on to Maria. So tell us, why does this matter to you?
There's not like a specific reason why it matters to me, but mostly because I saw that I noticed like a lot of my peers like don't really care about their health. They're like, ah, it's whatever, you know?
Mhm.
And I just saw this initiative and I said, not a lot of people would be willing to like step out of their comfort zone and try to like promote this because they're like, oh, who cares about health? Who cares about this? They're like, oh, we're too young. We don't need to worry about that. But I said, you know what? I'll be like the little black sheep. Let's get out and let's try to promote this, even though not a lot of people would find it cool or would say, oh, that's kind of weird. I was like, you know what? I'll take a chance. So I took it to help my friends and my well classmates, because I feel like once they see one person do it, they're gonna be like, wait, maybe I can do something. Or what if I can help out my community by doing that? Let's say Angel, how he started helping his community by doing those dishes with Jasmine for his classmates. Once you start introducing things, people start to catch on and it can make a big difference in the future. So I'm just trying to be that passageway into helping make those differences.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And you have a different perspective on it. It's not that you necessarily had, personal experience, or maybe you did, but it's more, you're like, you know what, this really should be the popular thing. It should be the thing that we're doing. And let me help support my classmates in being able to come to, putting this as a priority in their lives. Let me just be able to be that kind of connection and that support for them. So I think that's awesome. It's very kind of other focused, which I think is really great.
Because a lot of people they're not informed about all these things that they should be like that they should know about their health. And once like you tell them, like, because I had this friends like, oh, I haven't slept, like I've been feeling weird. And I'm just like, oh, sleep actually affects like your health a lot. And they're like, oh, really? How? And I tell them and they're like, oh, shoot, I didn't know that. So like everybody's like in a way naive about what can affect their health. And the more we inform them, the more caution and like measures they can take to like help themselves out.
Beautiful. I love that. It's just like you're realizing it's if people have the information, they can make the best decision for themselves. So thank you so much for sharing. Wonderful. I'm gonna have Jasmine, you share why this means so much to you.
All right. So for me personally, it was I grew up in two different households because my parents are divorced, with different incomes and different priorities when it came to health. On my dad's, we were able to go outside and like drive places, to be in nature and try different healthy foods. But my mom's, we had a lot of government help, and we weren't able to think, oh well, let me try this new food. We had to think, how are we going to make this food last throughout the month until we get more food stamps. So I was able to, and over time, as I grew up, I realized the difference between like the way I was feeling, depending on what I was eating or even doing, whether I was leaving the house or staying inside. And it kind of caused me to realize, I need to be more mindful about not only what I'm putting in my body, but what I'm doing to my body in order to, live a mindful lifestyle, so to say, and how the different things make me feel, and trying to push that onto my siblings and promote that to them, I suppose.
Yeah, no, that's such a, I mean, that's great. I think it's just, what's amazing to me is how introspective you are. As a young person, and just thinking about, let me just pay attention to what my body is telling me. And kind of getting back to what I'm talking about with our culture teaching us a lot about being disconnected to our bodies. We don't listen to what it's telling us all the time. And we kind of grow up that way, just doing our own thing and your body's doing something else. And you were linking in, you were getting connected, and you're like, hey, okay, body's talking to me, let me listen, let me respond. This doesn't help it, this does. And then you started listening and moving forward with that. So I think that's just amazing, that you can be able to share that, that insight that you had. So thank you so much for sharing. And also just your personal experience too, having kind of these two different experiences that shaped, how you were feeling. Go ahead. Did you want to say something else?
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jasmine. All right, Emma, you're our last one to share just why this means, why this means a lot to you. So go ahead.
For me, I am very lucky and very privileged to go to a school that's actually plant-based.
Mm-hmm.
So my school has been plant-based for a really long time now, and I've been attending this school for about 11 years. So the whole concept of healthy eating and healthy living has been a really big part of my life ever since I was really little. But knowing that I go to such a unique school and seeing my family members or my friends or cousins or relatives, whatever, knowing that they aren't as lucky as I am or don't have the chance to eat healthier food at a very young age, that really affected me and made me very upset at the system and the world that we live in. So for me, it was more like, what can I do to spread my knowledge of healthy eating and healthy living to my peers? So, for example, at my school, I was one of the first students to kind of promote the Seed to Table program that we have at my school. So being able to create gardens and create experiences for my peers has been a really big thing for me.
That is amazing. All of you guys are amazing, honestly. I just think it's just so awesome that you've had this experience. And I kind of wonder how, if you're talking with other friends who I don't know if they're also going to school with you, if you have friends that are outside of that environment, what it's been like to introduce them to some of this stuff, and even seeing their responses to, learning about a new way of eating or a more healthy way of eating. Like, what has that been like for you to be able to share that with them and see their response?
It's definitely been interesting. Within going to this school, I've made lots of gardens and lots of different projects that I've been able to actually travel to different states and even different countries and share my knowledge. Actually, I've done quite a few speaking engagements with Big Picture, just to share what it's like to be able to eat healthy and like not feel guilty about the price and things like that, because I think it's so unfair that healthy eating is such a big socio-economical issue right now.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that non-organic strawberries are $1.50 and organic strawberries are $4.50. And that's a really big price difference.
Right.
And seeing how that is such a big problem, me personally, I love that I get to share that you can grow these things in your backyard and you don't need to go to the grocery store to spend X amount of dollars to buy what like organic food that you want. So telling that to my peers and strangers and family members has been a really big thing for them, but not only for them, but also for me. Just knowing that I can change someone's life just a little bit makes me very happy. So
That is just amazing. And I just want to tell you that there's some comments here. This looks like Miss Day Walker was just saying how, I'm going to quote her, these young people are so inspiring. I'm so proud of them, and they are proof that the future is full of hope, light, and brilliance. So I agree with all of that. And so now I want to
That
just
makes
go
me,
into yeah, go ahead, Danny.
yeah, it makes me think of just one question I had, which is, and I only have one, and be a few people just answer, like, what work are you most proud of that you've done so far?
Great
As
question.
students or in general? Like, you know, if a few of you can just speak on that, I'd love to hear about that.
When I first came into Big Picture, I actually tried to collect data on my school because I'm just like, where is my school? I'm just like, where are we? I'm like, are we okay? So I did I think it was mostly based on mental health survey, and I sent it out to all the grades that we had since we are in new schools, like, or like 3 grade levels, if anything. We sent them out. I actually did a presentation on it. And I did notice that my school was like really down, like as in like our mental health is not where it's supposed to be. Like a lot of people are like either not comfortable or stressed, or all those things that go into mental health. So that's like one of my works that I really like that I did. I want to do it again in the future, but I just haven't had time to actually send it out again. So maybe sometime then in this second semester, I might try to send it out again.
I think that is great. Getting the data, and that is important. So it pushes your school to do better too. So that's good to know. How about Alicia? I'm just wondering, what kind of projects or what do you work on to do something like this?
So we at Next, we have me and a couple of my peers every 2 weeks or so, we have a presentation that we do to an advisory or a group of students, or honestly, with COVID and the lockdown and stuff, whoever we can get at school, we get as many people as possible, and we have a small session, something informative at the beginning, and then some activities at the end. So we sort of run that every couple of weeks. And I think the proudest moment for me was when I, ran one of these sessions for one of the younger batches at our school. And we had given out some of the advisory resources that are on our Big Picture Living website. And so one of these students, she came to me with a sort of diet chart that's there that you can find, and she came to me, like, to my classroom, and she's really excited, and she's showing me this diet chart and all of her achievements on eating right this week and this month, and she's telling me that yeah, I did this, and proudly saying it, and I felt like at that moment it was a really proud moment for me as well, because not only are the students informed and involved in this, but they're also taking part so willingly. They're also feeling proud about their achievements, and it's just like a great moment for me to see, to be able to make that impact.
And that's great. It's like you're an ambassador and a role model around it, or an exemplar. I'm going to go to Angel, and then I'll go Jasmine next.
Yeah, so what me and Jasmine kind of work together at our school to promote healthy living and healthy eating more specifically. So me and Jasmine run a program called Upbeat, which is a program that was ran before with my teacher's previous student. but it was called something else, and kind of had a different look to it. So when I heard about this program, I was like, I think that this should come back because it's something that I think would have impacted me deeply when I was underclassman. So what we do with Upbeat is we started off with with me just telling them a little bit about healthy eating and how to look for those healthy recipes and where to shop, how to slowly implement it into their lifestyles. After we go on, and then we have an activity, which is generally to create a campaign for healthy eating, because I do intern with Isari, so that's something I do every day. So I create graphics to post on social media for VP Living, and I also help with website and everything that is like visual, I guess. So they get to create something like that, just promoting the word about healthy eating. And then while they're doing that activity, we pass out a healthy recipe that is generally cooked by Jasmine. And then they're able to eat that recipe while they're doing the activity. So they get to experience healthy eating while learning about it as well.
Love it. One thing I'm hearing, and Jasmine, you can comment on it, or you can just go into what you're doing, but the work is real. What I'm not hearing is, oh, we just did some textbook stuff and read about health in health class. Jasmine, what are you working on, and what do you have to say about that?
I was just, for starters, I was gonna just explain a bit more about the cooking for Upbeat. So a lot of the times when Angel asked me to start cooking for Upbeat, the question I try and tackle every time we run the program is, how can you make healthy eating appealing to the youth, especially picky eaters? So I usually consult my siblings because they're like the pickiest eaters I know. One of them doesn't even eat mashed potatoes, which I think is really odd. And
Oh, mashed potatoes?
that's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
But
in the real stuff, at least, the real, not just the box.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I try and talk to them along with Angel and the advisory that we're working with to figure out something that we can make that's vegan or vegetarian, that to replace what they would normally eat. For example, we made tacos, but instead of having it beef or chicken, we took the little chicken nuggets that were vegan and we cut them up. So that was the meat substitute. Or instead of chicken parm, we made eggplant parm. So kind of just like changing their mindset a little bit and being like, oh, well, instead of, doing this, we can make this instead. And it's basically the same. Or I just think of it as not really a substitute, because you think of, oh, eggplant's gonna taste the same as chicken, and more as an alternative, if that makes sense.
No, love it. Again, exemplar. You're just being that role model and what people, want to learn and see. You're the closer, Emma. You're the closer with this question, at least. Like, either anything you're really like, this is what I did that I'm really proud of, or a project that we should know about, or if there's something you want to teach us related to this topic.
Definitely project-wise. One of my favorite projects that I've done is that while starting my school seat to table program along with my mentor at the time, I got.
Oh, and Emma, sorry to interrupt. Can you define for people what seat to table is? Some people might not know, so go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. My bad on that. Seed to table is something very special and very precious to me. Basically, it's where my school, if that's students or the current gardening teacher, will plant almost like 60% of the food that we consume. We actually grow it at my school.
Amazing.
Is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to help start that program was also really cool. But project-wise around that, I had the opportunity to plant and harvest and cut up over 200 heads of lettuce that I grew myself when I was, I think, in 5th grade. So I did that for my school's salad bar, and being able to tell my friends that I grew the salad that you're eating right now is such an unbelievable feeling. But not only that, like being proud myself, I also got a lot of my other friends more involved in that Seed to Table program. And a lot of my friends became a lot more excited to go to gardening class or going to the grocery store. It was a thing that I did when I was little that makes me still proud now. So yeah.
Just
Thank
amazing.
you. Yeah, it really is.
Mhm. All right.
I was not doing that in 5th grade. I didn't even, man, I
That's what
don't even know if I was touching lettuce. Like, I wasn't, gee whiz.
I guess
Thank you.
I guess I did have like one, this is like an off the cuff question actually. It's just kind of wondering because so much about our what we think is cool or popular, influences what young people do. So as you guys are kind of alluding to, the healthy thing isn't considered the popular thing, like at this juncture right here, where we are even with young people in schools and even with COVID, I think people are realizing how important health is. I've had a lot of patients come to see me and they're like, I'm just trying to connect with a primary care doctor. I'm just trying to get my health together. So there is this type of shift happening, which I think is so encouraging, so hopeful. But I was kind of wondering, how do you think we're gonna change that and allow health to become our new popular thing? We can make that shift. It just depends on what we as a culture decide is going to be that. And I don't see why health couldn't be popular when you are healthy, you feel the best that you can feel, which shows in your, it shows up in your life. So I was just kind of wondering if you guys had any comments on, how do we do that? How do we get all young people on board?
Well, Marsha, I think that it's like literally what you said. Having the culture together and kind of starting it like with a community. So bringing the whole community together to experiences, and make it the expectation to do. I think that creating more community events. So at my school, I'm trying to create a volleyball tournament to get students to move around a little bit, and bring together our community. And it's just that simple because I believe that after more students are going to be like, I want to do something like that. I want to keep going with what was just done here, but kind of implement it into their own lives.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I totally agree. Anyone else want to chime in on that? Maria, did you want to
Yeah, sorry, it's because I heard my dad and I was like, oh shoot. But I wanted to chime in. Another way I feel like we can do it is by trying to keep like implementing it into our daily lives, like, or at least like telling people around us to like spread the word. Like there's bad peer pressure, but there's also good peer pressure, to use our peer pressure that we have in a good way in order to influence people to care about their health.
I like that concept. Good peer pressure. That's good. Good environment. That's great. I really like that concept. And
Nice.
did you? Okay. Yeah, I love that. Anyone else want to chime in on that?
I think it's not, at least from the experiences at my school, at trying to, spread the living at my school. I know it's not a easy sort of shift, and students aren't as, because we're young and we're fit, and so we tend to take advantage of that, and we tend to be like, okay, this is something I can worry about when I'm in my 40s, so it's not a right now problem or a right now solution. But bringing that shift, I think we start small, and as the community grows, it's like a dominoes effect, especially because I feel like this happens a lot with us, like the youth, that we see more and more people getting involved, and we're like, okay, why are people talking about this? What is this? And I also want to know about this. So I think like as we grow, it grows with it, but definitely not the easiest shift, especially to make health sort of the popular thing, because so many people would be like, this is not one of my biggest worries, or like, sleep is currently not my worry, college is, so I will work hard towards it, or health is not my current worry, it's probably getting something cheap, getting something fast, so fast food is the option. So just to change that mindset is a little bit difficult in the beginning, but definitely as people realize the importance of this, they start changing their lifestyles.
I love that point you made about starting small. I think that is gold. I think that is key, because a lot of times, like when we're changing behavior, I don't know why we expect it to be easy, because think about it, you're going in one direction and you want to turn here, you want to make a change. That's just basic physics, right? Inertia, this tendency towards something, you're in that direction. So it's not going to be an easy thing. It will take some discomfort, but that's just part of the process. I think if we kind of become more comfortable with that and allowing the process to be like, this is a learning experience rather than, oh man, I got to do all this. It puts a positive spin on it. And I just wanted to just harp on that. Starting small is the way that I start my patients on healthy changes. And that has been shown to be effective. So there are lots of data on that. So thank you so much. Love that point.
I'm just vibing along with you, Marshall. I think it's all great and inspiring to hear. And I think, Chris, I think we're going to let in Elliot and Andrew, because the students here, you're mind blowing. You're blowing our minds. But we want those in the audience and those listening to understand that also, the teachers have a role with this, and the educators have a role with this. So we want to expand this a bit. And I'm inviting Andrew Coburn in. Andrew, you want to say a word about, introduce yourself real quick, if you mind?
Sure. Hi, I'm Andrew. I am the advisor for the Parks and Rec Advisory, and Angel and Jasmine are in my advisory. If people out here don't know about Big Picture Learning, you get students in 9th grade and they are stuck with you for 4 years. So this is my 3rd year with Angel and Jasmine. We're called the Parks and Rec Advisory because we are, in addition to being centered at Public Street and here in Providence, we also run our advisory 2 days a week out of Roger Williams Park, which is a 500-acre park, the main park here in Providence. And we often run an advisory right out of the Botanical Center and spend part of our days hiking in the forest there and getting chill and getting exercise, moving in nature.
Well, and Elliot, you want to introduce yourself real quick, and then we're diving in. In fact, Elliot, as you introduce yourself and make sure your mic is on, let's just start. And you want to tell us, why'd you get into this? I mean, you've done a lot, Elliot. You start schools, you're doing great things in the world, thought leader, and then now this. Why?
Well, it is now this, but it's been about time now this. So I've been at this for a very, very long time around lifestyle and healthy eating and all these things. And I'm one of the co-founders of Big Picture Learning in the Met, and I've had the honor to be at every one of these young people's schools and communities. I travel around a lot, and I make it my business to stay on the ground and stay grounded, and always believe that young people are the change, and they need to change not only themselves, their communities, their families, and the system that we're in, which creates its own healthy system around food that young people eat at school, sleep, exercise, all those measures. Schools are contributing factors, not necessarily on the good side. And I believe that our young people have to make those changes, and the adults have to listen to them because they're too much invested in something that they can't see out of sometimes. So I'm really excited and thrilled that all these young people are with you, Donique, and Marsha Gale, and we're all in this together on this change. So yeah, this is something that's been around with me since 1969,
Well,
and
I don't keep on going, Elliot.
No. I met Emma when she was 5.
So my question is this, because I know people are thinking it, or somebody might be, and then we'll start with you, Elliot, and then we'll go to Andrew with it, who's doing it live. Like, I think, why the urgency? Like, there's probably somebody out there that's like, yeah, this is not it. I can do a health class and that'll be it. Why the measures? Why are you making something? Why are you growing this seed to be something greater? That's for you, Elliot.
Oh, me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, well, what's more, we have food industries, we have racial disparities and inequities around our health, our system, our well-being, and we have to change that. You can't learn, speaking as just an educator and not just, you can't learn if you're sleep deprived. You can't learn if you're eating sugar, fat, and salt all day, and it impacts your learning. You can't learn, as Maria points out, it's all right to have some stresses, but are they positive or negative? And how do we add meaning to people's lives around measures that are more important, that are neglected in school? They're just assumed you're going to take care of yourself, or if you have a health class, you're going to know what to do. That's not so. This is lifestyle measures. It's not just a class or a period or a time of the day. It's all the time. And I think we missed it by a long shot. So I'll just leave it at that for now, because there's a lot to it. I can go on and on. But
well, no, thank you, Elliot. And with Andrew, I'm going to let you say a quick word. I want to, because you do it. You're doing it out of school on that level. What does it, first of all, how does it look to take that on? And what are you seeing? And what are you doing? What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, I got an hour to answer this question, right? I mean, it's like, what it looks like is it's exciting. But like Elliot said, it's lifestyle, but school is life. And there's a lot out there about, teachers are just supposed to teach and everything like that. Mm-hmm. That's BS, right? Mm-hmm. We're here to be supports and catalysts for students to build the lives that they want. And part of course, we're a career-based school. Part of that is building a career and getting a education, but part of it is being healthy, being happy, being part of a community that you can impact. And so by allowing kids to be social, be allowing them to be healthy, you're helping them build lifelong habits. And like Angel started us with, maybe when you're 15, 16, you can't see the outcomes of how this is going to impact your energy level, your happiness, your engagement, and your lifespan when you're 15 or 16. But we have to be role models for helping students to see that. And like Elliot said, of course, it ties into education. And I haven't been doing this since 1969, but
ain't that old?
Healthy eating, yoga, all that has been part of what I do at the Met for a very long time. But things have changed also. Like we talk about education changing. It's not the industrial model of 1880 anymore. So has health. And so with cell phones coming into our lives, with processed food being more there every year, we have to adapt to that. And to see kids coming in 5-6 years ago with a Mountain Dew and some Cheetos for breakfast, and then like sitting there clutching their stomach at 10 in the morning and saying they feel sick, mm-hmm. we need to address that. And having students ask me to give them a ride to the corner store, what? It's the corner store. And what I've seen through the work that we've been doing the last couple of years is that we can change that. It's hard to change those macro systems. We need to work on changing, not having fast food on every corner, not having messaging that you can be on your Instagram till 2 a.m. But at the same time, these kids and we as staff members or community members, we do have control. And by going into the park, by having bike programs, by having students meditate, I have seen them, and like Alicia said, it's slow and we got to persevere with this, but I have seen changes and we're going to continue with this every day.
No, I think that's great. And thank you. And the beauty is, well, I mean, we're educators. What isn't like normally slow? Like what unit or what way of, for those who teach in units, like, you know, it sure doesn't happen in a day or overnight. So I think we got to think of it that way. And I think you make me think, Andrew, about when I thought I was doing something great. And I was like, all right, you're not drinking soda in my school, and you're not gonna have those monster drinks in my school. I thought I did that, right? I thought, all right, that's good. But what I realized was that was whack. That's just a setup for you, Marsha Gare. Because I'm realizing there's some things that we're doing right now that are just simply whack, y'all. And I hope, you know, I'm setting you up lovely, because we gotta watch this video. And then you'll see what we're talking about. Marsha Gare.
All right, let's cue it.
And afterwards, you can say a word. We're ready. Let me just be.
We're ready to go.
A little bonus for y'all.
America's health is a problem.
The single leading cause of premature death before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic is poor diet quality.
It's just whack, whack, whack. This whole thing is just whack. Whack, this whole situation is ridiculously whack. Health from this whack food with this whack mood. Whack cause we don't move, it's whack, it's just so whack, it's just whack. Whack, whack, this whole thing is just whack. Whack, this whole situation is ridiculously whack. Health from this whack food with this whack mood. Whack cause we don't move, it's whack, it's just so whack, so whack. This is whack, so you take the chips and soda off the rack, put it right back. Cause obesity will sneak up on you in a sack in the 1980s, cracking black, push an entire community back. That was whack, but in 2020, same story, Jack. Except it's high fructose corn syrup, that's basically sugar crack. Minority communities running rampant with the Big Mac. Or a boxer jumping jack, or a king who makes it your way like he's got your back. Listen to this, then turn around, stab you in the back. BMI so I can't see the back. Arteries a clog with a nasty plaque. Get ready for a heart attack. Can't even believe that they put the blame on them because they can't make it around the track and not on the multiple resources that they lack. We're talking social determinants of health to be exact. Cause lack of access to care is common for brown and black, and health disparities are quite the setback. We already know that this is so whack, whack, whack. This whole thing is just whack, whack. This whole situation is ridiculously whack. Health from this whack food with this whack mood. Whack cause we don't move, it's whack, it's just so whack, so whack. Whack, whack, whack. This whole thing is just whack, whack. This whole situation is ridiculously whack. Health from this whack food with this whack mood. Whack cause we don't move, it's whack, it's just so whack, so whack. No, I'm not taking what I said back. CDC got all the statistics, Paso how we got stacks on stacks. Now they're falling off the rack, and every single year they will increase until we act. Cause this is so whack. No, I'm not smoking crack, throwing that liquor back. Cause I don't do that, all I speak is real facts. 1977, Montgomery tried to get us off this track, but all the food industries, the dairy, the meat, the salt, the sugar, the rat pack, came out the board, they all clapped back, decided that they were not having that. Like big tobacco when it got snacked with evidence that 6 were cancer's favorite snack. Disregarded the facts, didn't listen to Semmelweis when he said your hands are dirty, you should wash that. Seems like it's about profit, and your life don't mean jack. Unless I got the whole thing where it's back. My hand can't get to faces fast enough to smack. I'm so over the effectiveness we lack. With hospitals selling every type of snack, kids TV advertising crap, there's a glow in the dark create dental plaque. Can you even grow mold on that? Red dye 40 listed on the back of the pack. Nah, I wouldn't need that. Whack, whack, whack. This whole thing is just whack, whack. This whole situation is ridiculously whack. Health from this whack food with this whack mood. Whack cause we don't move, it's whack, it's just so whack, so whack. Whack, whack, whack. This whole thing is just whack, whack. This whole situation is ridiculously whack. Health from this whack food with this whack mood. Whack cause we don't move, it's whack, it's just so whack, so whack. This game needs a new quarterback, whole new plan of attack. I won't sit back, watch lives fall right through the cracks. And if that means I catch some plaque, I think that's stuff I went back. If you push that style, then you're a quack. Research got my back, there's evidence, can you handle that? We need the basics back, it's as simple as that. Cause this is whack, this is whack, This is whack. 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 This is whack.
Marsha, yes.
All right.
Gotta say something about that.
So, when I think so much about what you guys are talking about today as students and the fact that this matters to you, it's like we need to have more conversations about this. Students having conversations about this with each other. And so this lyric video was really a way to promote that type of conversation. It's what I consider a modern day public service announcement. And I actually plan to turn this into curriculum that we can use in schools where teachers can actually play the video and start having conversations around health for their students to start thinking about this. And I think once we do that, then the power of young people to say, you know what, I'm not happy with what it looks like is going to be my trajectory. Looking at where we are currently in the US, like that's not acceptable to me. And that's been the story for young people decades, in the past. That's how it's always been. Young people just say, you know what, everyone else dealt with it, but we're not cool with it. And I want that to really inspire students to take that kind of energy and fuel it, into changing their own lives and the lives of their peers for the better.
That's good. Thank you. I think I have a closing question, and that's it. I mean, you're shutting it down with that video. I think it's great. I think it's an example of ways we can reach out to people. And that's really the question. Is there anything else? What else can we do? Or any messages to other schools who are thinking about this? Any ways they can start? Any inspiring words to anybody who wants to do this but doesn't even know how, especially schools? And I'm gonna start with students, and then anybody else wants to close out.
Yep.
About Maria, since I was thinking about, Maria, what do you think? Any closing words for people to know?
What was the question again? My Wi-Fi kind of cut off.
Anything for those that want to, I think, and like, I should consider this. Anything they should know, should do, any next steps?
I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like mental health is a really important thing because if you don't have no motivation, how are you gonna make all these changes in your life? First, we need to get on track with our mental health and our esteem because I myself lack a lot of self-esteem. I've been diagnosed with depression, anxiety. It's something that's very near and dear to me, and I feel like it does affect your way of eating because if you're not motivated or you're feeling down, you're not really hungry, you're not really giving yourself that nutrition you need. So I feel like mental health is a really big issue that people should start addressing.
Thank you. Now we want to thank you for coming on here, speaking, and also just addressing the indifference that you might see in school and you doing something about it. Emma, I'm gonna go to you next.
Just to piggyback on what Maria said, I think mental health is a huge thing right now in in Generation Z, especially because of social media. But also, I think in our case with healthy living and healthy eating, I think it would be really great for people who don't know what the next steps to be or like to do, like people listening to us now, like what should I do next? I think reaching out to people through social media is really great who have similar interests as you, or even people like reaching out to us now. I think that would be a really great next step for someone who wants to learn more about healthy living or just our experience with healthy eating or living or a healthy mentality. But I think just reaching out to your peers or reaching out to people who seem to have a hang on what they're doing, I think that's a really good next step.
Thank you. And thank you for just breaking down how it was to be part of a plant-based school and just being active and what it means to be active.
I just want to say thank you to Maria and Emma for highlighting the importance of mental health. I think that's something that we've really done a disservice as a society to kind of put physical health up here, and then mental health is like, you know, what's wrong with you, or if anyone's just being a human being. And
Exactly.
I think if your mental health isn't where it needs to be, your physical health is not going to be anywhere where it needs to be. So just understanding how they are both linked, there's a mind-body connection. And I think it's important that we continue to normalize how important mental health is. So thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Definitely thank you. Alicia, we want to thank you. First of all, I want to make sure people understand this is international. And you're in India, and I want to thank you for just speaking up on what you see there, and anything you want to add to, you know, for us to be aware, or any next steps that we should take, especially as educators.
I think at least at my school, what's worked for me is just starting small, like Davis mentioned, and also sort of hand holding the students through the process. Sometimes that helps because that's not their priority. You know, sometimes forget about this. It's easy to not prioritize this, even though it should be one important things, right? You're not healthy, you can't do anything. You're not, you know, goals that you might have that you might feel like are more important right now, all of them will be worth nothing if your health is not right. But at sort of getting to that sort of stage, right? Because it's easier to just not think about it. What's giving students like small maybe challenge, you do this, and then, you know, having them be like, okay, let me first focus on my sleep, let me get that right, and then let me focus my diet, let me focus on this measure. For everybody that's something different. So just sort of getting them through the process, making sure to follow up, because like I mentioned a lot of times, it's difficult to make that change. And
yeah, I think you're going in and out a bit. What I did get is start small and follow up, because you think you're going in, but and pick an area. Like, don't do the whole thing.
Right.
Do I have it? I want to thank you. We had a little international technology issue there, but I think we got that message. We're going to close out to the first, you know, and going to end where the big picture began, and that's the Providence met, folks. So I want to just real quick, Angel and Jasmine, anything you want to say? Jasmine, first, you're witnessing disparities, and I want to thank you for just even opening that and saying something about that. Anything you want us to know, wants educators to know, the floor is yours.
I would say one thing that really helped me is after, you know, setting goals for the year, the month, the week, is similar to what Alicia was saying, is I'll set a goal for myself during the day that I, you know, block out a time or like a guideline of, okay, I want to read from 5 to 6, so that I can not actually make sure I'm implementing that and getting other people to try and set goals for themselves and helping them to implement those ideas too. So
love it. Expanding on goal setting. Thank you.
Yes.
Angel, I gotta say, yours. Thank you. I started this webinar episodes ago talking about my dad who had a stroke. So I want to thank you for just being strong and just talk about what you're dealing and working through. And I did not do what you did with just changing the lifestyle in the home. So I just want to thank you for just being a model for even me as an adult of what could have been done or what can be done. So thank you. You already said some things, but anything else you want to add to that we should know as educators or those listening to youth?
I think that it comes back to what Emma and Alicia were kind of talking about. Just reaching out to people, creating support systems, people that are going to hold you accountable to do what you're going to do. Just reaching out to those that are like on the same journey as you. So people that are trying to become healthier, connecting with those people so that you always have someone that calls you out on whatever you're not doing or going through with. So I'm at my house, if someone is not eating healthy or so whatever is being cooked that day is not healthy, kind of making sure that you speak out about it. And then that way you have someone like looking from an outside perspective, helping you understand what could be done and what could be changed.
It's mindset work. Yeah. Marshall, passing it back to you. This is about the kids, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
I mean, I have nothing more to say except I'm just so happy that you guys were able to be on here to share, all your experiences and just like so many other comments that were shared in the chat, how yes, this shows that our future is bright, but more importantly, I think it's the difference that it's already making in your life. And then that kind of light that you're finding by being able to take care of yourselves is rippling out to others and rippling out to your peers. That's the most powerful thing about it. So that's really all I have to say. Not going to be long-winded as I typically am.
No, and this is it. I want to thank everyone. We want to thank everyone really.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third one, third episode. Thank everybody for being here. We close with the students. Y'all had the last word, and I hope everybody sees this and looks at your wonderful faces and are inspired to do something in their school or communities.
Yep.
That's all we ask.
That's the hope. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Jasmine, Alicia, Emma, Angel, Maria. Of course, Dr. Marsh Gail Davis, thank you. Thank you, Chris. This has been A Seat at the Table, Health Inequities and Education. 3-part series, and you never know what might come from this next, so stay tuned. Marsh Gail, you get the last word. I'm not saying anything else.
Oh my gosh. I just thank you guys. That's all I have to say. Each of you are just awesome. And we look forward to seeing more of the amazing stuff that you're doing and sharing more about the wonderful impact it's going to have on everybody. So we'll see you all next time.